the hidden rule that lets your emotions run the show. A man once shared something that struck me. For 30 years, he never missed watching a BYU football game with his father. But after his dad passed away 2 years ago, he said he just couldn't bring himself to watch a single game since. At first glance, it sounds like grief. But beneath that, there was something else. What he really meant was, I can't watch without feeling something, without the risk of tears. And that's when it became clear. He was following a deeply rooted, unspoken rule. A mental script that says, you must stay in control of your emotions at all times. It's a rule many of us grew up with, especially those raised in traditional, conservative environments. For men in particular, the message often sounded like, crying is weakness, or real men don't show emotion. So this man, now in his 60s, had internalized the belief that feeling emotion, especially openly, meant losing control. Now, this doesn't mean that emotions should be running your life either, but hang with me, because something much more damaging is happening under the surface. When control turns into avoidance. Here's the real trap. When you believe you must constantly manage your emotions, you adopt a second hidden rule. If something might trigger a strong feeling, I must avoid it. And so, to protect himself from possibly crying or losing control, that man gave up something he loved. Watching football with his dad wasn't just tradition. It was connection, memory, comfort. But his fear of feeling took it away. By clinging to the rule that says, you must be in control of your emotions, he actually lost control over his life choices. Avoidance became the decision maker. The cost of suppressing emotions. Think about it. Many of us have received the message, directly or indirectly, that strong emotions are negative, shameful, or embarrassing, that they should be hidden or silenced, that if you feel sad, guilty, or anxious, you're somehow weak or failing. And so we learn to suppress. We try to stay calm, collected, in control. But ironically, it's in that suppression that emotions begin to control us. Take relationships, for example. How do you start a new connection without risking a broken heart? The only guaranteed method is to shut down your emotions, to build a wall, to never get too close. But in doing that, you're not preventing pain. You're preventing love. You're letting fear make your choices for you. We think we're in control, but it's fear and avoidance that are calling the shots. Real stories, real lessons. Rachel was a guest on one of my programs. She'd been struggling with anxiety for years. Someone asked her in the comments, "How do you go to the store without worrying?" Her answer was honest. You can't guarantee that you won't feel anxious. The only way to totally avoid that feeling is to not go to the store. And that's the problem. If avoiding anxiety means skipping everyday life, you're not in control. Anxiety is. Rachel's turning point wasn't learning how to eliminate anxiety completely. It was choosing to do things even when she felt anxious. And that's when she truly took her life back. The same goes for panic attacks. If your goal is to never, ever have a panic attack in public, you'll start avoiding public spaces. Suddenly, it's panic, not you, that decides where you can go. Boundaries are another common example. Many ask, how do I set a boundary without my voice shaking or feeling guilty? The truth is, you might not be able to, not without discomfort. So you either don't set the boundary, or you do it only when you're angry or numbed out. Either way, the emotion is dictating your behavior. And funerals? Another subscriber once asked, how do I not cry at a funeral? But why would you want to avoid tears in a moment that's supposed to be filled with memory, mourning, and love? Tears aren't weakness. They're the price of caring. The mental rule that needs rewriting. Can you see the pattern? The unspoken rule says, I must always control my emotions. And it leads to this. If I might feel something, I must avoid that thing. But the truth is, avoiding emotions doesn't protect your life. It shrinks it. Suddenly you're not going out, not forming relationships, not expressing boundaries, not grieving, not living. And you think you're managing emotions, but really, you're avoiding life. Let me be clear. Emotions don't belong in the driver's seat either, but they do belong in the car. What actually helps? There are healthy, practical strategies that help build resilience and reduce anxiety. Things like scheduled worry time, positive affirmations, locus of control exercises, supportive relationships, living with values in mind, mindfully facing fears, reflecting on death with honesty and compassion. These aren't magic fixes that erase your feelings, but they do help you navigate them, understand them, and grow from them. Because here's the truth. Emotions serve a purpose. Anxiety helps us stay safe. Guilt can motivate repair. Grief means we loved, and love always includes pain. You can't numb just the hard feelings. When you try, you also numb joy, love, passion, hope. A better rule to live by. So what's the alternative? Try this. I can't control my emotions, but I can influence them. And I trust myself to feel them. Strong people don't avoid feelings. They get good at feeling them. They can be scared and still speak. They can be sad and still love. They can be anxious and still go out into the world. Final thoughts. If you want to build a rich and meaningful life, it won't come from hiding. It comes from showing up with all your humanity. So to my friend who used to watch BYU football with his dad, please go watch the game, even if you cry. Let yourself feel the love, the memory, the nostalgia. Yell at the screen, cheer, and let the tears come if they do. You'll find that the more you allow your feelings, the more you start to trust yourself with them. And when you trust yourself with your emotions, they no longer control you. They become a part of your story, not the author of it.